It's 10/10/2010. Discovery Kids is dead. Long live Discovery Kids. In its place rises a new, unknown player in the ranks of the family television pantheon. The Hub. It featured an eclectic mix of existing Discovery Kids program, shows based on Hasbro properties, and a whole lot of acquired programming with seemingly no theme. Seriously, at times it feels like the Hub would just air whatever they could get the rights to. Fraggle Rock, Doogie Howser, even Animaniacs for a while. It was founded as a joint venture between Hasbro and Discovery. I imagine Discovery Kids wasn't doing too hot in 2009. I mean, I know I never really watched it, even as a kid, but the Hub just kind of enthralled me from the beginning. I mean, this was a brand new network, launching right before my eyes. And yeah, sometimes it really felt like the rise of 80s toy-powered cartoons all over again. But the difference was, these toy-based shows were actually typically pretty good. There's a G.I. Joe show, a Transformers show, and yeah, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. This is clearly the show that put the Hub on the map. And for good reason, too. It was always my favorite of the launch lineup. It would get dethroned a few months later when a new show would premiere and completely steal my heart, but let's wait a minute for that. Lauren Faust's Friendship is Magic was a wild new direction for the My Little Pony brand. It didn't really look like it, though. It just looked like more cute cartoon horses learning lessons about love and friendship and, well, things young girls like. And it was. It so was. But what set it apart was something so simple, I can't believe those egghead writers never thought of it. It was well written, and also had more of an action element. They weren't afraid to get, dirty and, do some fighting stuff. It was very neat. Look, I don't really want to knock on old My Little Pony too much. Honestly, I've barely seen anything pre-Friendship is Magic. Like, I'm an adult woman, not the target demographic. And when Friendship is Magic started, I mean, I was a 13-year-old boy. Like, even less of the target demographic somehow. Listen, I did not give Friendship is Magic a start until it had already gotten big. I started watching in between the first and second seasons, and I kept watching for a while. I haven't kept up with the last, 2 or 3 seasons. It's not like the show isn't good anymore. I mean, the quality seems pretty consistent. It's just the feel it has. Continuity lockout has really happened. It's weird that this is a My Little Pony show that you can't really just jump into at this point without understanding what happened before. And it also just feels like it's trying to appeal to its periphery demographic. It can't lose the bronies. But I just liked it better when the periphery demographic was periphery. But hey, that's just my taste. If you still like My Little Pony, more power to you. But this isn't just about My Little Pony. It's about the Hub as a whole. And now that we got the pony out of the room, let's talk about my personal experiences with the Hub. I did watch a little bit of it when it first came out, but nothing particularly stuck out to me at the start. That was until one little show premiered. It took my breath away. It didn't feel like anything else that was airing at the time. Dan Versus. I'm not going to say Dan Versus' existence is the only reason I care so much about the Hub, but no, that's exactly what I'm saying. Sure, it's probable that if Dan Versus didn't exist, I'd have still watched the Hub eventually. My Little Pony still would have been big enough for me to give it a shot. I might have watched The Haunting Hour and Littlest Pet Shop, sure, but Dan was important to me. It was edgy and a little dark. It clearly wasn't, for little kids, but it also wasn't, that irreverent Family Guy style humor. So it was too edgy for little kids and too tame to be targeted at adults. So who was it for? I still don't know. Part of it feels like it was directed specifically at me and my select group of friends with which I watched it religiously. It was just that exact style of comedy that fit us perfectly. Another show came along that also unexpectedly changed the direction of my life, and that is the Aquabats Super Show. The Aquabats felt like a show that could only have existed on the Hub, because, like I've said before, and will no doubt say again, the Hub was weird. It embraced not fitting in. The Hub just did not care about its image, and that was its image. The Hub was the home for lost pitches no network would take. If Phineas and Ferb hadn't finally gotten picked up by Disney Channel, we'd probably have seen it get 2 or 3 seasons on the Hub before hitting the can when it came to Discovery Family, like all of its other weird shows. But back to the Aquabats. Live-action animated musical comedy about a group of superheroes that's also a ska punk new wave surf rock band, and also like 40. That's weird. That's so weird. But they're seriously the best band in the world. And I might not have discovered them, literally my favorite band, if they didn't get this weird, silly kids show on this weird, silly kids network. The Hub was the legend. The legend is true, and it's you. Yeah, you are the legend. The legend is true. But there's more to the Hub than its original programming. We can't talk about the Hub without talking about its completely bonkers lineup of acquired programming. Now, there's quite a lot, so I only want to highlight like my favorites and the ones that feel weird and the ones that were like big, the ones that aired a lot. I'm going to go in alphabetical order because that's how it is on Wikipedia. We got Alf, Animaniacs, Atomic Betty, 1960s Adam West Batman, Batman Beyond, Batman the Animated Series, Doogie Howser MD, Fraggle Rock, Happy Days, Honey I Shrunk the Kids, the series. That's worthy of its own video, honestly, because that got wild. We can talk about that someday. Gem and the Holograms, Men in Black the Animated Series, Mork and Mindy, Ninja Turtles The Next Mutation, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Sister Sister, Who's the Boss? Yeah, a weird combination of shows. It really does feel like they would just air whatever they could get the rights to, and I love that. But in 2014, the Hub fell on hard times. Discovery bought back enough of Hasbro shares that they rebranded to Discovery Family. With this, a lot of shows that were getting pretty decent ratings for the Hub, and even some that were nominated or even won a TV prize, didn't get renewed. The Aquabats, Dan Versus, The Haunting Hour, these are just some of the shows I was personally invested in that I was sad to see end prematurely. Not all hope is lost, I guess. The Aquabats had a wildly successful Kickstarter to start producing new short-form content again. The Dan vs. Facebook page is still somewhat active. That's not really anything meaningful, but it shows to me that the minds behind it are still down to do something with the concept. R.L. Stine is still actively making new things. Goosebumps 2 2018 is a thing that exists. Maybe to an outside observer, not really invested in the world of cartoons and children's programming like I am, Discovery Family just looks like a new name and branding of the Hub. But it's not. It's so not. I guess the biggest, most obvious difference is that where the Hub would take a chance and dare to be weird in the hopes that it would pay off, and it usually did, Discovery Family chooses to play it safe. Of all the new shows to make, from pitches coming in from Hasbro properties to adapt, they make a new Littlest Pet Shop. Just 2 years after the last one ended. I mean, I haven't watched it. I'm sure it's decent enough, probably. It just feels a little, well, creatively bankrupt. Now, I haven't watched it, again, and I'm pretty sure it's like a completely different concept, and the only thing it really has in common is cute, big-eyed, multicolored animals, but still, Hasbro owns a lot of things. Can't we adapt something new? That's another reason I still mourn the loss of the Hub. I'd always kind of hoped that someday I'd get the chance to pitch them a Nerf N Strike series. I had a lot of ideas for it. Maybe I'll talk about it in detail someday, since it's not likely to be made. That and the whole weirdness of it all. No TV network has ever, or probably will ever, come close to just how weird the Hub was. The Hub felt like it had something for literally everybody, either in nostalgic acquired programming or unique new originals. It had something for every possible demographic. Anybody could find something they'd want to watch on the Hub. Disc Fam just doesn't have that kind of broad appeal. It seems focused on making programming for families, not programming for families. That seems like a contradiction, but what I mean is Disc Fam has shows that anybody can watch, but they do this by making it mostly appealed to just the 2 to 6 or 6 to 11 demographics, opposed to the Hub, which had such an absurd level of variety that something appealed to somebody. For someone like me, you've got the Aquabats and Dan Versus and reruns of 80s and 90s sitcoms, because that's just something I like. Maybe someone else just really likes Shizao and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the series. I don't know your story, but I'm sure you found something to love on the Hub. I think everybody could. What about you? What were your favorite shows on the Hub? Do you miss it, or was the change to Discovery Family a good thing? Let me know in the comments. Really, I actually am very curious about other people's thoughts on the Hub. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Goldie of Ferret Meat. Stay cool.
Are you ready for the hot nuts?